Hi everybody, welcome to Mindful Monday, our Monday morning ritual. I light my candle every Monday morning sort of as a sign that it's time to begin this sacred time together, and just kind of sets it apart. I was watching some show and they were talking about how important rituals were, and I agree. Just setting aside some time for ourselves, super important. So mindfulness, as we've been practicing along with our yoga, is the art of staying in the moment, staying in the present moment. So I'm going to challenge you. We've been practicing together for quite a while now, so I'm going to challenge you today to stay in the moment, stay with your breath, stay with your movement, even though your mind may have something to occupy it. So I'm going to give you some little clues throughout the class, and we will not, we're going to play a little Jeopardy. And you may know the answer right at the beginning of the class, but just kind of try to stay with it, with our practice. And then at the end, you'll have a chance to unmute yourself and share the answer. So let's just begin with a little bit of centering, and then we'll just kind of weave the hints into the practice and the Jeopardy question. So find a comfortable seat, prop yourself up if you like. Allow your legs to be in a position that is comfortable for you. So if it's crisscross applesauce, that's great. If your legs are extended, that's great. Whatever works for you. And then lift your heart and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable. And see if you can soften your gaze or close your eyes. And the chin is parallel with the earth, creating this nice posture for our practice and our breath. Maybe swallow in your throat. Just notice how it feels to soften that area of the throat. And just see if you can soften the face, the brow, the shoulders. And notice your hips. See if you can even soften your hips a little bit more toward the ground. Feeling that stability of the earth beneath us, that grounding. Here we are, right in this moment. And so in this moment, notice your natural breath. Notice your heartbeat. Notice sounds. The temperature of the air against your skin. Just notice your emotional temperature. What did you bring to your mat this morning? Just give us something to compare it to at the end of our practice. And then as you're ready, with a nice soft belly, begin to deepen your breath, filling up, letting the belly and the ribs expand, drawing that breath all the way up into the throat. And then with a slow exhalation, see if you can match your exhalation to your inhalation. Just let it go. Excellent. Begin again. See if you can settle into a slower rhythm, allowing your breath to fill you. And then a conscious exhalation, just paying attention to the nuance of your breath. Noticing when thoughts come in and you start to stray, see if you can come back to the breath. Without thinking about what's next or what came before, see if you can stay present. Noticing the coolness of the breath as it enters the nostrils. And then maybe the warmth as it just caresses the top of your lip as you exhale. And just keep going. A few more breaths here. Settling in to your practice. So I live over here in Fulton, and my children went to school at preschool on 2/16, and this is a hint. They learned a song in preschool that I will never forget. It just brings me back to that sweet time. You probably have heard it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I always think about my daughter Caroline, who ended up on Broadway stages, right, belting her face off. She would always end it with, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And it's so sweet. So I'm reading a book by the same title. That is a hint. So now I will let you be with that and come back to your practice. Blink your eyes open and sit up nice and tall. We'll bring our arms out wide. Inhale your arms up, and matching your breath to your movement as you inhale, lift your gaze, lift your hands, lift your fingertips toward the sky. And as you exhale, take a bow, drawing your hands down to your chest, and bring your chin down to your chest, just bowing your head to your heart. And create an intention for your practice. Important to consciously make these intentions, right? And when you're ready, blink your eyes open again. We'll take two more. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, chin to chest. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Switch the cross of your legs, giving equal time to both hips. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale as you take a twist, going whichever direction works for you this morning. And gently take your gaze towards your shoulder. So twisting from the rib cage. Well, inhale, and exhale, go the other direction. And then really match your breath to your movement. So moving with your own breath, slow breath. Take some twists. Inhaling as we reach up and lift and lengthen, and then exhaling as we twist. Taking that gaze over the shoulder, giving your neck a nice stretch. Keeping the chin parallel with the earth. Just move slowly. If I'm going too fast, slow it down. Nice. Let's take one more each side. Excellent. Come to stillness as you draw yourself back to neutral. We're going to bring our arms out nice and wide this time and come into goddess pose. This may or may not be a hint, I don't know. Sometimes we call these cactus arms, but this is goddess pose with your elbows at the same height as your shoulders. And then we're going to take our right arm and bring it under our left and then wrap our arms around. So your palms may come together, eagle arms, or your palms may just rest back to back. Take a big breath in, lift your elbows, lift your gaze, shine your heart. And as you exhale, round, drawing your belly into your spine, round forward, bringing your elbows in towards your navel. Good. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, fold. Chin comes to chest, belly comes to spine, shoulders round forward. Good. Take a couple more. Staying with the breath, staying with this moment, noticing sensation in the body and modifying as you need. Good. Excellent. We're going to release this, come back to center, shake it out. And then we'll take our arms back into cactus, goddess, whichever you prefer. And then we'll take the left arm under, so the opposite. And then decide if your palms want to come together or back to back. Inhale, lift your gaze, shine your heart, and exhale, round. Little work for the shoulders as we get started. Just moving that body with the breath, feeling each breath. Excellent. Let's take one more. And draw that belly deeply into the spine as you round forward. And then come back to center and shake it out. Excellent. So we're going to release the left leg long. We'll be on the same leg. And then take the right foot and draw it into the inner thigh of the left leg. And go ahead and flex that left foot. And if something, you'd like to tuck something, a blanket or a block underneath this right leg, if it's up in the air, you might want to do that just for your support. And when you're ready, inhale, lift, reach your arms up, make sure those shoulders are drawn down, nice and down, away from the ears. And as you exhale, we're going to come forward very carefully, being mindful of our lower back as we come forward. With a nice long spine, take a big breath in. And on your exhale, just bow towards your left knee. And we're just going to settle in here, not for too long, but for several rounds of breath. And see if you can find that mindful breath matching the inhalation to the exhalation. And just let yourself sink into this yin pose. We'll stretch the hamstrings and the outer hip. And so being mindful and yet having this little distraction, we'll begin our Jeopardy. So the category is famous quotes by women in American history. And the clue is, she was famous for saying, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Cue the Jeopardy music. Now you don't have to answer right away. If you already know the answer, you're so smart. Don't shout it out yet. Let us move through our practice. Stay with your breath. That is the practice, right? Staying with the moment, even though we have so many distractions. And see if you can match your breath and maybe sink in a little bit more. Settling in, relaxing the right hip, relaxing the left hamstring. And notice what's happening with the back of the neck. See if you can soften there. Let's take 3 more breaths together and see if they can be conscious, slow, mindful breaths. Excellent. When you're ready, take your hands and just frame that left leg and slowly make your way up. Being mindful of your lower back. Let's take the right leg and extend it long and point and flex the toes a few times. Maybe circle out the ankles. Excellent. And then we'll take that left foot, draw it on up to the inside of the right leg. Flex the right foot, inhale, reaching up, getting long in the side body. And then on your exhalation, let's go ahead and bow. Finding this right hamstring, waking it up, and allowing that left hip to relax down, propping as needed. Relaxing the back of the neck and coming to the breath. Matching the inhalations to the exhalations. Good. So to continue with our hints as you stay in the moment, although we are somewhat distracted. She was born in Montgomery County, not Maryland, but Mississippi. She was the 20th child of sharecroppers. 20th, that's right. And she was a major voice in the American Civil Rights Movement. Keep that breath moving slowly and equally, finding that balance of inhalation and exhalation. Good. Notice if you're gripping or holding on anywhere. See if you can soften, letting your breath be your catalyst for softening. Letting those muscles just lengthen as they will, if you just provide enough breath, enough consciousness. Let's take one more big breath together, filling up. And then take your hands to either side of the right leg. And then walk your way back up. Noticing your lower back. Just bring your heels in towards your hips, your feet about hip width. And take your hands behind you and windshield washer right to left. Working out those hips. A couple more times. Excellent. And then let's take our blankets and come to our hands and knees, and we'll meet in tabletop. Smoothing out the blanket, getting rid of all the wrinkles, and spreading the fingers nice and wide and letting them rest right under your shoulders, pressing into all the joints of the fingers, and especially that little pad in between the pointer finger and the thumb. Tops of the feet are on the floor. And just notice how it feels to be here. We won't be here for too long, so if your knees are tender, please modify as needed. Take a little Sophie shake. And then drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone, come into your cow pose as you inhale. And as you exhale, round, draw the belly into the spine, lift the spine toward the ceiling. Let your chin come to your chest. Again, coming into cow as you inhale. And then rounding as you exhale. Excellent. Take 3 more, just moving with your breath, staying in this moment. Good. Come to center and find a neutral spine. And take some hip circles. Going to the right, bringing the hips back toward the heels. And then moving in the opposite direction. Just warming up. Excellent. And then we'll make our way into our first child's pose. So knees come wide, toes come to touch, big toes come to touch, and then send those heels, send the hips back toward the heels. And if you need a little something to prop between your hips and your legs, feel free to tuck a blanket or a block in there, or tuck a block underneath your forehead if your head is just not coming all the way down to the floor for now. And then we'll take a few conscious breaths here, settling in. See if you can relax your arms. Breathe into that lower back, breathe into the hips. Inhalation and exhalation. Good, staying with that breath, that balanced, equal breath. See if you can stay here for a few more. So this person, this American female civil rights leader became active in the civil rights movement. And in 1962, she went to her first protest meeting, and she became active with voter registration. She was 5'4", so she was a couple inches shorter than I am. And as she became more well known for her civil rights work, she was arrested and she was beaten and she was shot at. So she went through some really difficult times, as you can imagine. Stay with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Let's take one more full breath in, and as you exhale, come back up to your table and tuck your toes. Get your toes nice and snuggled in, and then just lift your knees up, coming up just about 2 inches. Feel the abs start to turn on. Feel your shoulders start to, and your arms start to get engaged. And just notice how that feels. Feel those quads. Yeah. Things get a little bit hard, but notice your breath. See if you can keep your breath smooth and steady. Good. You're so strong. As you're ready, inhale, lift your hips, come into your downward facing dog. Move any props out of the way. So lift your hips high, maybe bend your knees as much as you need to, and take your dog for a walk. I think Sophie's going for a walk right now. Bending one knee and then the other, pressing each heel down, getting that stretch in the calf. Remember your fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing into every little thumb and finger joint on your hands. Good. Find some stillness here. Relax the back of the neck. Take a nice big breath and an exhalation. And on your next inhalation, come up on your toes. Come up like a ballerina. And on your exhalation, send your heels back down toward the floor. Excellent. Inhale again. Lifting up. And exhale, heels press back toward the floor. Toward the floor, not necessarily on the floor. One more, coming up all the way up to your toes, and then look forward and take a walk, coming all the way to the front of your mat, bringing your feet hip width and taking your hands to your elbows and just coming into ragdoll, bending your knees as much as you need to protect your lower back. And just rock from side to side here. Let's get the lower back nice and relaxed. Excellent. Find some stillness here. Breathe in. And breathe out. And on your next inhalation, come up to a flat back, bringing your hands to your shins, drawing your shoulders away from the ears, pressing your entire foot into the floor. feeling all four corners of the feet, your stability. And as you exhale, just let your hands come back down to the floor. Fingertips can graze the floor. And as you exhale, or as you inhale next, reach up for the ceiling, rise up, reaching up, looking up. And as you exhale, hands come down to heart. Find your first mountain pose. Just let your eyes close. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, pressing your palms together, drawing your shoulders down and away from the ears. Maybe a little smile curves on your lips. And just feel this sense of groundedness, bringing your awareness to your feet. Maybe even imagining roots growing down into the earth, grounded here in this present moment. Take a full breath in, feel your heart pressing into your hands, and as you exhale, release your hands, coming into mountain pose here. Let your palms face forward here in this mountain pose, feet hip width again. Take a nice big breath in, reach up and look up. Let your palms touch, and then as you exhale, swan dive forward. Another forward fold. Come back to front of my mat. Inhale, find that halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Good. As you inhale, come back up to halfway lift. And then press into the earth. Inhale, root to rise, reaching all the way up. And take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Take your side bend to the left. Getting long in that side body, pressing into the earth equally with the right foot as the left. Engaging the muscles of the legs and keeping your inhalation and exhalation equal length. Staying with the breath. Inhale, reach up and look up, and exhale, take your side bend to the other side, reaching for that left wrist with the right hand. Good, maybe even turning your gaze underneath that left arm. Good, nice equal breaths. Inhale, reach up and look up. We're going to come into those cactus arms, goddess arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Look up and lean back as you are able. Little back bend, counteracting our slump asana. Good. And as you exhale next, swan dive forward. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Inhale to your halfway lift and step the right leg way back to the back of the mat. And just lower that right knee, lower the top of the right foot. Good, rise up, reaching up. Low lunge, sinking that left knee forward. Just bring your hands down to the left quadricep. And we'll sink in here, drawing those shoulders down away from the ears. Just getting a nice runner's lunge here. Shine your heart, breathe in. You're doing great. Equal breaths in and out. Nice. Take one more breath here. Excellent. Take your hands down to frame that foot. Right hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Sweep the left arm up. Take a twist. Good. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, just take that arm back behind you. Maybe take a little more of an intense twist here. Taking a half bind. Good. Breathe in again. And as you exhale, slowly unwind. Left hand comes to the outside of the left foot. Sink back. Straighten that left foot. Maybe even slide that left heel a little further. You can kind of rock and roll it. And inhale to your lengthened spine. And as you exhale, take your bow towards your left knee. And we'll just pause here. Notice how that hamstring is feeling. Keep that left foot flexed. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. It's a lot for the legs here. Stay with it. One more breath. Excellent. And as you exhale, we're going to come forward. We're going to bend that left knee and bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot, right hand to the right of the left hand, and then just slide back a little bit more. So now we're in this lizard pose. And this is perfect to stay here. But if you have a prop close by, a blanket, you might fold it up. And then you might decide you want a little more of a stretch for that left inner thigh and bring your elbows down and settle in here. Yeah, this is intense. Notice what happens to your shoulders. See if you can relax them a little bit. And come back to the awareness of your breath. That deep breath in. Send the breath where you're feeling the sensation. I should say if you're feeling sensation, it's good. If you're feeling pain, that's not good. So if you're feeling pain, back off. Come back up. Maybe move your knee, your leg. Good. We'll be here for a few more breaths. Let's see if I can think of another hint. So there was a Democratic National Convention that this person spoke at. I think it was 1964. And she brought to national attention what was going on with the voter registration in Mississippi. It was not good. And so she talked about how she was beaten and tortured and arrested and shot at and all these things. And finally, people started to pay attention. And so she became pretty well known. And she was a dynamic speaker. When she would speak, people would cry. It was she was just such a magnetic person. Everyone loved her. And she would speak, and then she would burst into song. She had this really deep, almost husky voice. And guess what she would sing? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So she would sing that and just encourage her audience, and it was said that she chose that song because it represented her own life, and also because every little light should have a chance to shine. I just love that. So notice if your neck is getting a little tight or tense. See if you can breathe in, relaxing everywhere that you possibly can, and we'll be here for 2 more breaths. So I never knew that she made that song more famous. I thought my preschool kids did. So that was enlightening. All right, take another breath and then slowly release. Move your props out of the way. And then we're just going to step that left leg back to meet the right and lift our hips, downward facing dog. And then walk your dog as needed. You might want to take some hip circles with that left leg. And then eventually meet back in downward facing dog. Take a gaze back at your navel and press your hips a little bit higher. Get that length in the back body. So good, feels so good. Good. Take a nice big breath in, come up on your tippy toes, and then slowly walk forward. Come back to the front of your mat. And then once you get there, your feet are right at hip width. Take a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Maybe even bringing your belly down to your quadriceps. And then take your elbows out to the side. See, as you grab and sort of pull on your big toes, and maybe you can straighten your legs a little bit more, coming into a deeper hamstring stretch here. We're going to be all ready for a nice walk or run today. Our legs will be so stretched out. Take another round of breath or 2 here. And then as you're ready, inhale, coming into your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root into the earth to rise, reaching up, letting your palms touch, and take a hold of your left wrist, take your right side bend. Good. Inhale, coming up, reaching up, looking up, and exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Inhale, reach up and look up, take your goddess pose, squeeze your shoulder blades, getting those scapula all drawn toward one another. Breathing in, and then as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take your fingers to the floor and step back with your left leg. Lower the left knee, lower the top of the left foot, and come on up, Anjani Asana, reaching up, finding length. You might want to even come into that cactus arms in this shape, or reach up. You can make a teepee with your hands. Just lean back, get a little back bend here. Breathe in. You can take your hands down to your leg and come a little more forward, stretching that hip flexor. Come on, this feels so good, right? If it doesn't, you know what to do. Take one more breath in, and as you exhale, left hand comes to the inside of the right foot. Sweep your right arm up. Good. As you exhale, let's just take a few circles here. And as you inhale next, maybe take your half bind, so that shoulder gets a little more of a stretch, maybe not. And pay attention to this right knee. See if you can keep it tracking toward the big toe. Good. Breathe in. And then slowly release, come back to center. We'll straighten that right leg. Lift the right toes towards your nose, flexing. And inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, bow forward. Excellent. Come back to the present moment. The present moment with your hamstring. Breathe in and breathe out. And then as you're ready, come forward. We'll set up for lizard. So you might want to walk your foot a little more to the right. And then hands come to the inside of that right foot. Prop up as needed. And we'll come down to wherever your lizard is for you today. So this is an intense stretch if you haven't noticed. So we really need to focus here. See if you can relax, swallow in your throat, relax the back of the neck. Send the breath where it needs to go. And just notice shoulders. Notice the jaw. And see if you can set up for several rounds of balanced breath here. Nice full breaths in, and long breaths out. So we're coming to the end of our clues. I think, let's see, there's, she was really active in Mississippi in bringing more childcare, more business opportunities, and more family services to minorities in that community. And then she died really young. She was only 59. She died in 1977, the year I graduated from high school. And I never learned about her in history from what I can recall. But on her gravestone is that quote, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Gosh, you can't really blame her, right? Breathe in. and breathe out. Relaxing the back of the neck. Let's be here for 2 more breaths. Can you come back to your breath even when you're just a little bit distracted? Maybe you know the answer. Maybe you're like just wanting, itching to Google the answer. Just see if you can stay with it. Being here in this present moment with your with your stretch. Good. One more deep breath in, and then slowly make your way back up. Move your props out of the way. We'll take our hands to the floor, tuck our left toe, and then send your right foot back to meet the left. Maybe take some hip circles here. And then find your downward facing dog, pressing those heels to the floor. Look at your navel. Look at your navel. And then come up on your toes. We'll take a walk to about the center of your mat and just come up 1 vertebra at a time, reaching up all the way up, getting length, finding length, looking up, challenging your balance, and then drawing your hands down to heart center and find mountain pose. So I'll turn this way. You can be at the top of your mat. And take your feet about hip width, lift and spread your toes. Find your mountain pose. So palms face forward. That gives you a nice open heart. And then press your toes down into the mat. Engage your legs. So imagine those roots. And then take your weight over to your left foot. And take your right foot and externally rotate it so the right leg is turning out. And take the right heel to the inside of the left ankle. And so coming into this tree pose, this may be where your tree pose is today, this externally rotated pose. Just imagine your left leg, your left feet, your left foot has roots. So you are grounded. Yeah, and so maybe you feel that stability and you find something to look at that's not moving, that's right ahead of you, and you want to reach down for the right leg and bring it up to the inner thigh. You might want to do that. And if you do that and you have slippery pants, just press your leg into your foot, press your foot into your leg. And then you might want to reach your branches, extend them out. Excellent. Drop any dead leaves, anything you no longer need to hang on to. And then as you're ready, draw your hands together at your heart, release your leg, shake it out. Good work. Now, one side's always easier, so let's come into the other side with just some awareness and some lighthearted, whatever happens is fine. So lift and spread your toes, ground into those feet, and bring your weight into your right leg. Take your left leg, externally rotate it. Heel can come to ankle. Hands can come to heart. Find your drishti. And always great, if you have a chair or a wall near you, you can always use that for your balance. Find that gazing point, something that's not moving. And maybe bring that left foot up to the inside of your right leg. And decide how your tree is feeling today. Maybe you reach up for the sky, sending those fingertips up, keeping those shoulders down away from the ears, dropping those leaves. Excellent. Breath stays smooth all the while. And when you're ready, just slowly release. Excellent work. You guys are great. You're nailing this. Let's take the feet nice and wide. You can take your toes to point forward, bring your hands to your hips, and come forward into just a halfway lift here. And then as you're ready, take your fingertips to the floor, bend your right knee. One more stretch for the legs before we come all the way down. Bend your left knee and rock on over. Good. Right to left, just a couple more. Excellent. And then as you're ready, come back up, halfway lift. And then heel toe your way about halfway in. Let your toes point out. And then if you're comfortable with this, we're going to come into a little yogi squat, just our final stretch for our hips today. You can press your elbows into your inner thighs. And if this doesn't work, we're coming all the way down to our backs. So just meet us on the mat. And as you're ready, slowly come down. Lower your hips to the floor. Reach your legs forward. Sit up nice and tall. Let's lift our arms, reach up. And as you exhale, take a forward fold. Nice long legs. We'll take one breath in to lift and lengthen, and an exhalation to fold in. Chin comes to chest. Just relax the back of the neck. Your hands can rest wherever they're comfortable, or holding onto the sides of your feet or strap, big toes. Make it your own. Excellent. Take one more breath in, lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, we're just going to roll all the way down, coming all the way down to our backs and hugging our knees into our chest, taking that nice stretch by rotating, drawing circles on the ceiling, massaging out that sacrum. I don't think I ever practiced yoga without doing this. It's so great. Awesome. Hug your knees into your chest again and just relax. Close your eyes. Take a nice big breath in. Feel the tops of the thighs pressing into your belly. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. And then as you're ready, take a hold of your outside of your left leg with your right hand and just gently guide your legs over to the right. Maybe they land on a blanket. That might give you a soft place to land. And then let your left arm extend out and turn your gaze toward that side. Good. Breathe in, filling up. And breathe out, letting go. Take one more. Inhale. Nice, even, balanced. Exhale. And as you're ready, draw your knees back into your chest. Take your knees over to the other side, gently guiding them. If you don't have a mic pack in your way. Open up your right arm. Take your gaze in the opposite direction. Breathing in and breathing out. Relaxing and settling in. One more breath in, and then as you exhale, just gently guide your legs back up to center and release them down to the mat, and find your Shavasana shape that works for you. Legs up the wall is great. You can take a blanket and cover up. You can extend your legs long, open up your arms out wide, and then tuck your shoulders underneath. Give yourself that heart opener here. And then just let yourself completely surrender here. We'll take a quick body scan, starting with the toes, relaxing the toes, softening the ankles, relaxing the calves and the shins, and the knees, the fronts of the legs and the backs, relaxing the hips and the lower back, the solar plexus, and that heart space. The right arm, the right hand, the left arm and the left hand. The shoulders, the throat, back of the neck, back of the skull. Allowing the tongue to relax down from the roof of the mouth. Relaxing the cheekbones and the brow and the jaw. Just letting go. Slowly begin to deepen the breath. Bring some movements to fingers and toes. Maybe turning your head from side to side. And as you're ready, roll to one side, curl up. Pause to notice. Notice all the things we noticed in the very beginning of the practice and see if you can discern some difference. Remember, you did that. Excellent. Just pause to notice how successful you were with your mindfulness practice today. Is it easy to come back to the breath when you're trying to think about things? I know. When you're ready, use the strength of your arms to come up to a comfortable seat. And find some length in the spine. Allow your chin to be parallel with the earth. And let your eyes close. Checking in. And as you're ready, take your arms out wide, reach up, look up, take your palms together and draw them down through the center of the body, right down into the heart. And let it rest, let them rest there in prayer position. Just taking a moment of reverence to be aware of our heart center. Thank you so much for showing up again, for playing the game. Afterwards, let's all unmute and see how many of us were successful in our Jeopardy question, if anyone knows the answer. Thank you so much for playing along with me today. Namaste. So we're not going to be here next week, so we all have time to read this book. It's called This Little Light of Mine, The Life of... Anybody know that? Yes! Who got that answer? Good job. Who? Good. Anybody else? Anybody else get it? Good job.